this issue is so fundamental and so important. We face so many important issues right now. When you look across the spectrum, and there are so many challenges that people in public policy and in public office are facing right now. But this issue is remarkable to me in terms of the intensity, the emotion, the fiction, the mythology, some of which Michael addressed in the earlier panel and in the document. But I work in politics, and it's just stunning to me that I was first attracted to then Governor Bush in the mid-'90s, predominantly because he was talking about compassionate conservatism and a limited role for government, but a very, very proactive, particularly on issues like immigration. I mean, he had a very immigration-friendly message, policies, and as he began to put together his campaign for the presidency, he was very, very adamant with those of us around him, advising him that he wanted to make this issue, put it on the forefront of the campaign, despite a lot of people who said that he probably shouldn't. So watching that arc politically, and then watching him in office as he tried to implement the policies, and seeing what happened from the late 90s until today is just a dramatic arc. I mean, first there was 9/11, which complicated things with the negotiations with Mexico because it became fundamentally a national security issue. But then increasingly, as the economy began to go south, it became much more of an economic issue. And then I worked with John McCain and watched John McCain's campaign, and as he was initially quite very immigrant-friendly as well in his message, and watched his campaign literally melt down over that issue early on, and that's when, as you recall, it sort of crashed and burned and his funding dried up. But that was all related to his related to immigration. And then I spent a lot of time on airplanes going from Washington back to Texas, and I'm always going back on Thursday nights, or I was, and would always be with the Texas congressional delegation going back. And they would get in my face about this issue all the way back and screaming at me about it. And I was really shocked. But McCain said then, and I'm sure he would say now, that he has never in his whole political career seen an issue as hot and emotional as this one. And so now we've seen the present administration grappling with it as well. So over the course of a decade, we've seen this issue evolve, morph, and yet go without any resolution at all. And just to put a sort of final point from the political viewpoint on this in terms of the arc, it's really interesting as we look back to look at what Ronald Reagan did on this issue, and to realize that if he were running today, he probably wouldn't get nominated because of this issue.